Well, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. Good times with Scar here, bringing you another creative fun time episode with Scar as we continue to build this amazing modern house. And in today's episode, we return to the pool project to complete our spa and our pool decks and all sorts of other things. So let's get this episode underway. All right, and welcome back, and it's good to have you here today for our pool project as we're continuing to make our pool for the summertime. And let's head in real quick because I just got to show you guys something real quick before we jump into today's project. And this little room over here just came out what I think is just perfect with these little doors. I wish these little doors were built during the actual building of this particular room, but it looks like something out of Sunset Magazine or something. I think this thing could win an award, a major award. I love it. All right, so we're back over here at our pool, and I changed this area just slightly. I made it a little bit deeper. So if you're following along, if you want to make it a little bit deeper, a little shallower, that's totally up to you. And of course, remember, these are just all organic kind of shapes, so there's not really any right or wrong way to do it. I just wanted to make it just a little bit deeper. Now, I did have a comment in the last video that we're going to blow our ears out by going to the bottom, which is true, but this is Minecraft, and maybe that doesn't happen because our little Steve guys go all the way to the depths of the ocean. So maybe that doesn't happen. You never know. All right, so we're just kind of breaking in right away here and starting to work on our spa. So we're just getting some basic shapes down. We're only going one high. We're keeping things simple along here. So I'm going to kind of come over here like that, and I'm going to go bang out and just start to work my way this way. There we go. So no right or wrong way to do it. Just basic kind of shapes along here. There we go. Coming along here. And let's just connect her up. And then we can come in and refine as we need to. Perfect. There we go. And let's get an overview. It's good. It's good. Actually, wow. That's not really that bad. I think I'm going to go with that. I like that. I'm not going to really come in and do any more. I like that. Okay, so we'll just kind of fill in the bottom here and give ourselves a bottom to a spa. There we go. And yeah, every time, and I mention this every video, I do a pool, and I do a lot of pools. I just get always super nostalgic for swimming. As you guys know, I've mentioned this a million times that I was a competitive swimmer most of my life. My first sanctioned competitive meet was when I was 3 years old. I hopped on those blocks, and I was a boss. And so yeah, it's just I don't think about it on a daily basis, but whenever I make a pool in Minecraft, I start thinking of swimming, remembering my old swim coaches and stuff, especially one particular one, and it just brings back a lot of memories. One particular one was, I was probably on his team the most. I was probably the most amount of time. There we go. Perfect. Wow, got that done in record time. All right, so let's fly on over here real quick. And for the deck choice, you guys selected milk chocolate over the dark chocolate. So I was glad I asked you guys because I was leaning towards dark chocolate. So I'm glad I asked you guys which one you preferred. Let's get rid of one of our cakes. And we're just going to come in here and we're just going to build just a small little ladder going into our pool like that. Perfect. Just do a quick little recap there on the other side. Perfect. Okay, and one question before we get back to my story. Should we add pool lights? So yes or no? Definitely let me know in the comments if this pool needs pool lights. So then we would come in here and set up a little pool light system in here. So let me know yes or no on the pool lights. And let's get back into it. So for our deck over here, we're just going to start running these milk chocolate bars across here. So we're just going to bring our milk chocolate bars all the way across. And this area is going to be kind of, like 90%, milk chocolate bars. We might try to mix it up maybe with a secondary color or, insert some more planters for plant life in this area, just so it's not all just the same. But let's get back to story time. So I was on a swim team, a very unique swim team. And when I look back on it, it's very peculiar. Like, a lot of people had a love-hate relationship with their coach. And more as time goes on, a more of a fondness for those times because he was very, very strict and stuff. But, that's not so much of a bad thing when you kind of look back a little bit on it. And it's just a very, very unique swim team. I was on a few other swim teams, but nothing like the one that I was on for maybe 8 or so years or something. So a huge part of my life when I was growing up. And very, very strict. I mean, we when we got to the pool, we had to put our bags in a particular place. We had to hustle. We always jog. We never went flat out ran, but we always had to jog wherever we went. So if we had to go to the bathroom during pool, we ran in, we ran out, and if we were past a certain amount of time, we had to do push-ups, crunches, different things like that. And for the border here, we're going to run some of this along the side here. So let me just bump that up there. And it's different. I was on other teams and they were nowhere near the strict, kind of discipline that team had. And, sometimes that was just the worst. But, looking back on it, it really wasn't always that bad. And it's a thing to think about when life, like, you think during the time that this is really bad and this is terrible. But when you look back on it later, you just look at it and you're like, really? Was it really that bad? And, in the end, I don't really think so. There we go. And I'm going to keep this about 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's about 4 blocks. I'm thinking about pushing that back to 3 so we have extra room up here for additional plant life. How about we go up to here? What do you think? We go up to here, we do staircase into the pool. So I'm just going to come back over here. Let's see, go up to there and there. Perfect. Actually, no, back it off 1 and then we'll go here and then bring that up there. So it just adds a little extra room where our staircase is. There we go. Perfect. That's the way we want it. All right, good. And then we'll just continue this along here like so. And then this will just be our kind of border along the side. There we go. So, talking about my coach again, well, we used to have these classroom sessions. And so you'd think, swimming classroom sessions, there was a part of our pool that had like a, that taught like, that had a, like a little lesson room for, lifeguards learning and stuff like that. And we used to have these classroom sessions sometimes twice a week. There was like, track day where we went out and ran on the track. There was the day that we had classroom session. Now, classroom session was the worst, or at least back then, you were very, very strict. If you looked at the clock, end of games, you were on the ground doing crunches or you were outside, which sometimes wasn't always the worst thing. But, he also, of course, looking back again, maybe those weren't so bad, he taught us a lot of good lessons about life and, just trying to be a better person. And, when you're a kid, all you want to do is just go and goof around or go out and start swimming. You have all these things you want to do, but, maybe that wasn't so bad that he, stopped and, took the time to kind of help us all be better people. There we go. And, it's like I said before, it seemed like most people, you kind of had this love-hate relationship with them. Let's see here. I'm just taking a quick overview here. And yeah, so all these places that you see where we've, added the stairs and there's a planter in here. This is where we're going to do palm trees and all sorts of cool things that'll get this area much nicer, a little bit of life. So then we'll come over here too and then do this over here. And no particular order, just randomness. Here we go, just randomness. Like so. So, give you a little background on this guy. He, during the early 2000s, there was a lot of like gas crises or something along those lines. And so gas prices would spike. And then he would ride his bike. Well, he would criticize everyone else for not riding their bike. But some people, live like 15 or 20 miles from the pool, whereas he lived less than a block. And he would come over there and zoom in. He was like, so did you ride your bike today? Well, clearly not. I mean, you have to go over a freeway to get here. And some other things he would do, like he always assumed himself to be a very generous man. And he would come in there and he would look at you and go, just donated $50 to a homeless man. What'd you do today? And you would look at him like, I played with my Legos and I went to school. But maybe that made you think a little bit. Well, what did I do? Did I do anything to help another person that day? I didn't, so maybe I should, maybe it wasn't so bad after all, All right. So come over here real quick and just kind of bring this out. So what kind of crazy coaches do you have, in any particular sport or something along those lines? Do you guys have any particular interesting characters that are This is just a little bit tight right here, a little tighter than I want it to be. So I'm just going to knock it back a little bit, sample that, come up there. There we go. So no particular way, just bring it in and see how it goes. There we go. Perfect. And then we'll just bring that across. And then here, of course, this is just another planter bed for more plant life. And then we have a little extra breathing room here. So 3 blocks is ideal, I think, for this area. So it's just a simple pool deck here. And then we'll do steps down into the pool right there. And there we go. So like I said, yeah, tell me what kind of crazy like coaches or something like that you guys have. Super strict, or, you know, kind of like, hey guys, we're all friends around here. And, you know, I had those too, and I love those guys too. So let me know which kind of coaches you guys have for some of your sports. All right, so give me 1 second here. I'm going to kind of take a little break and catch my breath, and I'll be right back. All right, and welcome back. So over here, as you can see, I've been doing a little bit of work bringing this across as we were doing before, and I added some stairs. So let's fly on over here. And down there, you can see I create a little bit of a staircase. So just continue the pattern up there like that. I think that looks pretty nice. And then we stop just shy of our spot. So that's where we'll meet here. And this part's really cool. So get a load of this. This is awesome. So we're here. We're getting ready to get in our pool. And we had this little planter here where I'll have some palm trees over reaching the pool. I think that's going to be really, really nice. All right. So I'm just going to increase that, but not with that, but with that. There we go. And then let's grab our hold of our little divider here and just continue that across here. There we go. So I thought I have some more antics of my my former coach. So like I said, you know, he would, you know, ride his bike, do all that. He would also wear clothes that it was theorized that he actually, see, they were always messy, and they always had like pool stains and like holes from like pool acids and different things like that that burned holes through his legs and different things like that. And we always thought, and I still believe this to this day, that when he would get a new pair of pants, that he would take them in there and just make them all messy. So it would give the impression that they were old and worn out, and he didn't need anything fancy, you know. He wouldn't need fancy clothes. So I still believe that to this day, that there was a little bit of showmanship there, if you will, with the pants, because he would get very, very upset if you were a showboater. You know, you came in with fancy clothes or something along those lines, and you know, you just didn't do that in the team. And one of the other things I was thinking of as I was going along, something that I think is really important that I think was ingrained in my head is, if we did well or if we did poor, we weren't allowed to show that, especially at a swim meet. So if we did well, it was okay to, you know, you're like, yeah, but never to make a scene. Never make a scene, and especially if you don't do as well as you'd hoped in a particular swim meet, never make a fit about it. A lot of that happens a lot. You know, everybody gets a little bit upset here or there, but never make a fit like some other, you know, teams, kids would on swim teams and stuff. Our team, for the most part, never did. Even when it was like a pretty like devastating, when something happened or something, nobody ever, you know, went out and made a big fuss about it, or, you know, blamed a bunch of things, because only one person was to blame, and that was us. And, you know, I think that ingrained into me one of the biggest things that was. And I taught swim lessons, and that's something that I always like taught the kids that I was teaching, was to, you know, if something doesn't go right, you know, in your meet or your swimming or your particular test to move up into the team or whatever, you know, you're like, all right, I didn't make it. I gotta just keep working at it. Continue to work at it. Nothing will happen without good hard work. So I think that's a huge thing that was ingrained in me. Also, we had a rock wall. Now the rock wall was behind our pool. Now these rock wall guys are, you know, kind of laid back guys, you know, much different than my coach. And when he would give us little pep talks and things like that, these guys would mimic him and laugh at him. And they would get in the craziest arguments sometimes. It was very, very funny. They would get into these like arguments, and he would start yelling at them, and it was always good fun. The Rockwall guys, they used to get super mad because our chlorine in the pool water would get on their like mats and stuff, and they'd be really upset about that. So our coach to get back at him would have us get out of the pool and go do like crunches and sit-ups on their mats. And then when they would come in, they would be soaked. Oh, good times. All right. Well, look at that. I think we have got something really, really cool built here now. We had the foundation built for this pool, and I think it has come out really nice. So let's get a quick overview here. So let's head on down into our pool. And look at this. We're deep down into the pool. So let me know if you want some pool lights built into here, because I definitely do that. And we have our little island set up here for our palm trees and our bushes along there. We have multiple staircases, so I might go through and see if there's anywhere else that staircases are needed. Maybe here. I don't know. We could throw in one there. And yeah, I think I'll keep that area blank and try to find somewhere else to maybe make some lounge chairs and stuff. I think that would be pretty cool. But I think once we get the plant life built up here, I think this is going to be probably one super awesome pool. And that's a mega pool. Look at that. That is one mega pool. And well, guys, this has been Good Times with Scar, and I always really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. And if you believe the video deserved a rating, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, we'll see you later. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Lines, they're nothing permanent. There's no real right or wrong way of doing this. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to slowly just kind of figure out where we want to put our lines. We're going to see if we may go, from line to line like so. But, so we're just going to kind of fill this in a little bit like this. So it's just kind of fill it in. It's kind of